me go ahead and get the rest of my division in here with me because, again, if I was to tell you that the Eagles, the Washington Commanders, and the New York Giants would all be winners this week, y'all have thought that I was crazy. And as we say, one of these things is not like the other. Unfortunately, the Dallas Cowboys lost this week, albeit injury because of Dak Prescott and his thumb is, he had their surgery. But Jerry's going to try and rush him back because he doesn't believe in Cooper Rush. He's just putting him in for 4 weeks. But we're going to get to Megan and the Cowboys later. Let's start, of course, with yours truly. Listen, it's Monday Night Football, and we've got the Minnesota Vikings, a team that we know rather well, a team that we had to go through, even though they came to our house, in order for us to get to go play the Super Bowl in their house and beat Tom Brady and win our first Super Bowl. So, listen, Kirk Cousins, you did something that not a lot of people can say they've done. You beat Aaron Rodgers opening weekend. Congratulations, you did your thing. But, Kirk, please believe you're coming to Philly. It's our home opener. And as much as we respect Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, and your defense is good, Kirk, you already know I'm just not a fan of you. So, listen, I am expecting this to be more of what we did against Detroit. You're going to throw the first punch, and then our counter punch is going to be when we go ahead and put up 21 points. Now, this is going to be a lot closer. Well, actually, it was only a 3-point game, realistically, between us and the Lions. I expect this to be more than the same. But Philly will be 2-0 after Monday Night Football. Let me turn it over to my Washington Commanders, my guy, Couch Coach, man. Congratulations on your win against Jacksonville. But now you have to face the team that I just beat in the Detroit Lions. So talk to me, sir.
Once again, thank you, my NFC East brethren. Great matchup that we got going on here. It's kind of interesting to consider the fact that in Detroit Lions, their last 24 games, they've been the underdogs. They've been the favorite for the first time in 24 games. This is really intriguing. Obviously, Detroit has won this matchup five out of the last 6 games. But I think the tide is turning. Obviously, you look at what Carson Wentz did last week. You've seen the good, the bad, and then the good again, obviously with a 4-touchdown performance and him having the ability to spray the football down the field with the plethora of weapons, our trio, as we affectionately call it now, with Terry and also Curtis and Jahan. Defense is going to be our biggest issue. Obviously, you look at Detroit, they've done a great job as far as offensively, especially when we talk about the Eagles matchup. DeAndre Swift had 144 yards last week. St. Brown, I think he's going to be a pivotal part of this game. And then I think TJ Hawkins is going to have probably one of the biggest mismatches in this game. And obviously, this Detroit Lions team this team embodies the knee-biting embodiment of Dan Campbell. But guess what? We built for it tough. We got our braces. We got all our teeth. We'll bite some kneecaps and we'll get that win, and we'll hopefully be on top of the NFC East and maybe, a collision course of 2-0 teams potentially. But we're not gonna put the cart before the horse. But we'll take care of business in Detroit.
All right, my brother. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and bring the man with the plan. The man who I think shocked a bunch of people, ruined a bunch of survivor pools, and lost the people a whole lot of money last week. That would be Sideline Sports own Mr. Jake Malik. Jake, first off, congratulations, sir. I know you weren't anticipating a victory. In your heart you were, but not vocally. But
you're right about that. It's nice being at the top. Megan, I'm sorry to see you on the bottom, but happens. I'm sorry because I like Megan, not because I like the Cowboys. I'm just sorry for Megan.
Megan knows I got love for her, but her team is just
listen up. Okay, Jake, y'all the only ones that I'm gonna give credit to. Hey. First off, Eric, y'all beat Detroit barely. Let them come back. And I'm sorry, Couch Coach. Love you to death. Y'all beat the Jags. Chill out.
Thank you.
Hey, Jake, talk to me about your matchup this week, sir.
Yeah, look, going back to last week real quick. I mean, Brian Dable was gutsy, and I loved it. I mean, that's one of the things I am looking for this week is does he continue to be gutsy? Because he could have tied the game last week and said, no, I'm going for the win, and he did that. So I love that. Number 2 on my list this week is Daniel Jones. He had 2 turnovers last week. Again, he continues to be an absolute machine when it comes to turnovers, and it kills me. 1 interception, 1 fumble, and it's not good. He needs to stop doing that because this Panthers team is good enough that they will capitalize on those turnovers. You can't do that. Number 3, O-line. We gave up 5 sacks. That was not pleasant. So, again, you got to fix that. They looked okay sometimes during pass coverage. Obviously, the run game was decent. That's partially because Saquon Barkley is just back and healthy and he's playing amazing, which I'll talk about in a minute. But they got to look better. They got to play better. I know they're not used to playing with one another. I know it's new. I get it. But they got to fix something because the way they looked last week was not great for the most part, for those, minus those few exceptions. And then number 4, can Saquon continue to be the one-man wrecking crew that he was? Because Saquon looked phenomenal. And I said this, the line looked okay at times. I said that because Saquon looked so great, but it's because he was putting in the work. He was making plays in open space. He was making guys miss. He was making plays, and he looked fantastic. But the truth is, he is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, we won that game. So can Saquon continue to be the one-man wrecking crew that he was this week? That is a big thing for the Giants. They're going to need him. And as for the Panthers, it's simple. You just got to get to Baker Mayfield. Kayvon Thibodeau might be back this week, so we got to get some pressure. We only had 1 sack last week. If you get to Baker Mayfield, everybody knows that's how you beat him. That's the way to beat this team. That's what we got to do this week.
All right, last but not least, let me go ahead and let her do her thing because she's got to run because she's got her own show coming up. Make sure you check out Megan Price with the sip-off. Megan Cooper Rush is starting, and you're playing a team, Megan, that at one time you said was going to go 2-15, and I think they heard you. Because now they come into your neck of the woods, and I think they're gonna put a hurting on them boys. So talk to me about your matchup: Cincinnati versus Dallas.
Well, you say last but not least, but I gotta disagree and say least. It looks bad in Dallas. It looked bad last Sunday night. It's probably gonna look bad Sunday afternoon. Both of these teams are 0-1, but these 2 teams are drastically different. Now, Burrow was sacked 7 times last week, and he had 4 interceptions, and he got hit 11 times. This is the same story that they've had going for a while there in Cincinnati. They need to protect their QB. And exciting, we saw Micah Parsons. He's still that dude. He's still that guy. He got 2 sacks, and he had 5 tackles. So, but he can't be the only one because the rest of the pass defense did not look really great. And our rush defense was complete and total trash. We need our corners to focus. Anthony Brown gave up 7 receptions and 108 yards. And Trayvon Diggs didn't give up a ton of yards, but he also didn't have any interceptions as well. So we need Diggs to cover Jamar Chase, and what a tall job that is. Jamar Chase had 10 receptions and 129 yards and 1 touchdown last week. I expect things to be pretty ugly. T. Higgins was hurt for Cincinnati last week, so we won't see him this week. And also just make sure that tonight that you check out the WNBA finals. Game 3. Just want to make sure and shout that out because there's not going to be a whole lot going on with Dallas.
Wow, she just deflected all the way around and said, forget about my team. Focus on the W. I mean, I listen.
You know what? That is literally how the sip-off started because it started in 2020, and we know how that season went. By the end of the NFL carousel, I was like, I need my own show to talk about basketball because Dallas wasn't doing it.
All right. Hey, as you see, ladies and gentlemen, 3 of the best that I get to work with on a regular basis. Couch coach for the Washington Commanders, my man Jake Malik, Sideline Sports every Tuesday. And, of course, one of my co-hosts, Megan Price on the Sports Arena. She also does a sip-off. She does her own carousel. I guess it could kind of be a spin-off of this one. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But regardless, Megan Price's NBA carousel and also WNBA carousel. Much love to the 3 of you. I will talk to y'all next week. Megan, I will see you soon. Everyone have a great night.
It's real simple what I'm looking for with the Bears going into week 2. They're 1-0. Not something many people expected. I'll even say it myself. I expected this team to do things this year. I expected them to be better than what a lot of people were projecting. 1-0 is a big win for them. And they get to go up against the 0-1 rival Packers. Now, get it. Packers are never as bad week 2 as they are week 1. But going into this week, the young defense looked great last week. And you can say whatever you want about the weather and the inexperience of Trey Lance. The Bears were playing in that weather too. The difference is, especially the difference for this team from last year, is that adjustments were actually made. And I think ultimately that's what the difference in last week's game is. Going into this week, obviously Aaron Rodgers is going to be better. Obviously the Packers are going to execute better than they did last week. That all comes together to say, I'm just looking forward to some good football. This is not a position I thought the Bears would be in, honestly. I thought they would be going into this 0-1, Packers 1-0, and Green Bay gets to overtake Chicago for all-time wins this week. That's not going to be the case, and that's a win in my book already. You want me to put a prediction on this? I can't give you a score. I really don't know. I'm actually excited to watch this game. It's in prime time, and normally Chicago embarrasses themselves in prime time. But I'm telling you, there's something different about this team. There's something different about how everything's going in Chicago right now. This is going to be an actual good Chicago Bears primetime game, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
We heard it from the man himself. He's expecting it to be a good game. So that's going to do it for us as part of Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel Week 2. Thank you to everybody for being a part of this. We really appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all next week. Either you on or you off.